This is 5 on Your Side at noon. Focused on you.
Developing at noon, the St. Louis Blues have fired head coach Craig Berube. The team made the announcement in the middle of the night. Now, Drew Bannister, the coach of the team's AHL affiliate, will take over as interim coach. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. I'm Kay Quinn. The Blues dropped to 13-14-1 last night after losing to the Detroit Red Wings. It's their fourth loss in a row and sixth loss in their past 8 games. 5 on Your Side's Corey Miller is live at the Blues practice facility in Maryland Heights with details of a news conference held about 90 minutes ago. Corey?
Thanks, Kay, and it is a pretty surreal day for the Blues and their fans. The only man to bring St. Louis a Stanley Cup championship is out of a job. President and General Manager Doug Armstrong fired Craig Berube last night after a mediocre start to the season, but said the poor performance isn't just on the coach. Armstrong said, quote, "Nobody should feel safe in our group right now." Berube, of course, is one of the most important coaches in St. Louis sports history, bringing the Blues their first and only Stanley Cup to this point. And Armstrong said that's how Berube should be remembered in our town.
He goes, Stanley Cup, top team in the league, toss away the COVID year, 110 points. It's a pretty good record. It's a lot of wins. And so we're all remembered today by what we did yesterday. But in a year or in a month, or maybe by the end of the weekend, Craig Berube won't be remembered what happened against the Red Wings. It'll be remembered what happened in the 5 years prior to that.
The Blues will be back in action tomorrow at Enterprise Center against Ottawa with a new interim coach behind the bench, Kay.
And Corey, was there any indication this was going to happen before last night's game?
It came as quite a shock to fans for sure, who have been very vocal about it online. But Doug Armstrong said he and Craig Berube had a beer, talked about it, and Berube was not all that surprised that he got canned last night. But everybody else in St. Louis definitely shocked today.
Okay, and at this point, we're all waiting to hear from Craig Berube, which has not happened yet. All right, thank you, Corey Miller, live for us on the Blues firing their head coach. Also developing today, the Supreme Court agrees to take up a dispute over a medication used in the most common method of abortion. The justices will hear appeals from the Biden administration and the maker of the drug, mifepristone, asking to reverse an appellate ruling that would cut off access to the drug through the mail and impose other restrictions. The case will be argued in the spring, with a decision likely by late June. Starting today, BJC Healthcare enforcing a mask mandate for some staff. It impacts approximately 30,000 employees across 14 hospitals. BJC says it's shifting its policy because of a recent jump in respiratory virus cases, including RSV, flu, and COVID. Workers are only required to wear masks when they're interacting with patients in a clinical setting. The healthcare system's chief quality officer tells 5 on Your Side at this time the hospital is recommending visitors wear masks. The St. Louis County Council has passed a spending plan for 2024. That plan includes all of the bills in its amended budget, going against County Executive Page's proposed budget. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski shows us what services could see significant cuts next year.
Ahead of Tuesday's St. Louis County Council meeting, County Executive Sam Page sent a letter to the council saying if they pass their proposed budget cuts, ARPA-funded projects will be put on hold. There would be cuts to the teams who deal with problem properties. The senior tax freeze would also be on hold, and tax bills would no longer be mailed to residents. Page was not at the meeting Tuesday, and many of the council members were critical of the letter, saying Page's budget would hurt the county and taxpayers.
Unfortunately, instead of taking our input and working together on that plan, we simply received a budget request that increases spending and also increases taxes. That is not being fiscally responsible.
Councilman Mark Harder says he's considered this letter from Page to be a threat to the very projects many of them worked on.
If we vote against this, then we will somehow save those projects around the county. So I thought it was a very, I guess disappointing is the word that comes to mind when it comes to this.
The county council's amended budget proposed cuts to several offices, including the public administrator, Tim Weeks' office, which he said during public comment would be detrimental to helping vulnerable children who age out of the state's care and elderly abandoned by family.
This office is fully staffed and uses almost every dollar that we've been allowed in our 2023 budget, and we intend to continue that in 2024. But if these cuts are allowed to proceed, that will severely hinder our ability to do so.
The council's budget would also cut money from public health and public works.
Roads and sidewalks are the most common topic for constituent comments and complaints because our safe streets and sidewalks have long been our county's points of pride. Yet we are being asked to cut more than $2 million out of the public works budget.
Council Chairwoman Shalonda Webb says there will be an opportunity next year to reevaluate these cuts that were largely passed by a majority of the members.
In the second quarter, we can have some of those conversations about supplement bills. That's fair, everybody. Yes, this is hard. We're not afraid of hard. We do hard. But we can do it better if we work together, talk honestly and open and transparent with each other, and stop trying to legislate with headlines and threats.
That was Laura Barczewski reporting. The budget takes effect January 1st. County Executive Page responded today saying there's still room for negotiations on which departments will face cuts. No parish elementary schools in the St. Louis Archdiocese will close, at least not for another year. The Archdiocese announced the latest on its All Things New plan yesterday. It says it will reevaluate in February. All pastors recommended their schools stay open for the 2024-25 school year. About a third of the schools had been consulted in the evaluation due to declining enrollment. The FBI offering a $10,000 reward to help find this man. He's wanted for a hate crime against a transgender victim on a Metro bus. The video you're about to see is graphic and disturbing. The attack happened in April. Agents say the suspect got on a bus at the intersection of Grand and Chippewa. He started kicking and punching a transgender woman after she rejected his advances. He also pulled a gun. If you have information about this case, you are asked to call police.
And Kay, turning our attention to the weather. Wow, above average temperatures already at noontime. The average high is 45, we're at 46. And you look around the area, some spots cloudier than others, but it is very sunny also in some spots. So we're starting to see the cloud cover either thin out or move on. So we're going to call it partly cloudy in most areas for the rest of the day. Things are looking really good again. High pressure is right over Chicago, and we call this a dirty ridge of high pressure when you get a little bit of cloud cover mixing in, but really no moisture with it, nothing falling from the clouds in terms of rainfall, and it's obviously not cold enough for any snow. So 46 degrees right now, humidity at 37%, and a very light wind. That'll continue today, partly cloudy and 50. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of spots a little bit warmer than that. And the weather headlines, can you believe it? The winter solstice, 8 days away. Christmas is 12 days away. And we're going to see above average high temperatures. More on that coming up in just a bit, Kay.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Jim. Still ahead, Netflix pulls back the curtain. The show is being viewed the most on the streaming service. Plus, why nearly every Tesla vehicle sold is being recalled. And this holiday season, 5 on Your Side is teaming up with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition again to provide gifts to area kids impacted by foster care. We are still about 600 wishes shy of granting the full wish. We'd like to send every child a gift by December 20th. All you have to do is go to ksdk.com/littlewishes to send a gift.